And let me open up some sweet Clip Studio. Clip Studio Paint. My savior in an oasis. No, wait, not in my oasis in the desert. Oops. I'm not singing from a real song, so it's not like there's anything good to go off of there. Hold on. I need to save this. This is day 3. What did I put this on there? Yeah, there it is. Day 3. Yeah. I mean, this is like, I wanted to do a Frankenstein, but with like the eye head power. How would I call that? Oh no, but it was Crystal Mommy. That's right. Franken Crystal. Sure, it's good enough. Hold on. Let me select Clip Studio for our view. Oh, that's right. Yeah. See, this is my problem with these fucking. Okay, whatever. This is the problem with fucking doing different shit. I have to change all my stuff. And you know what? I'm a Taurus. I don't really believe in astrology, but I do believe that I am as stubborn and lazy as a Taurus. I'm not actually a lazy person. I have the exact opposite problem in my life, and that's why this fucking recent bout of seizures every day has been so hard to deal with, because I can't literally just like have to sit around and do nothing. And I'm sure many people are like, oh, boo-hoo, and I hate that for you, jokingly. And the problem is, like, you can't do nothing like that you even enjoy, because my heart rate going up too high, like laughing at something, I can have problems. And you know, the deal. I'm not gonna talk about it much more beyond that, because I've talked about it fucking enough. But okay, I think my mic and everything should be positioned pretty well, but you might be hearing me a bit more in your left ear than your right, and I apologize. I know how annoying that can be. Let's get out that textured pen. We were thinking of Frankenstein, so he's got a very squarish head, and he's got like gaunt cheeks, if I'm remembering correctly. How cartoony do we want him? Do we want him to look like fucking oh my god, Yamada? What? He just passed like kind of recently. How did I forget his name? No, it's T. No, I'm looking it up. Mangaka Dragon Ball. Akira Toriyama. That's it. I was thinking Dragon Ball art style, but Frankenstein. Why do I need to pull up a picture of Frankenstein? Lord only knows. I just want to get the eyes right. I feel like the Frankenstein, like, because he's got like the big forehead bit, but he's got very sunken in eyes. Oh my god, a 420 Frankenstein. A lot of these he just looks high instead of scary, because they try to make him look tall and have his head like this high, like looking over you. He just looks like some dude that's really high. And they kind of, it's giving like the monkey features because they're over showing the wrinkles on him. Yeah, because like the whole point is to make him look really like gaunt. He's from dead body parts, you know. If you've ever read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, it's a great book. Obviously, it got popular not just for the fact that he's a spooky, scurry monster dude. Oh, it's this that I'm thinking of, not these so much. Fucking wrong eraser will annoy me till the day that I die. Like, I am thinking of these kinds of like lines here because that's part of like this line, but it's not quite right. Made a box to build up off of. I'm just gonna do a quick sketch of him to like kind of warm up and get an idea. Why does he kind of look like my dad? Get an idea what I want him to look like in our style. It's interesting to try to show gaunt cheeks on something when it's cartoonish. Yeah. Well, like, not what I'm doing there, but like, it's this and then that. This is also, it's interesting. Any kind of stage makeup really is going to be similar to drag makeup, but I always get reminded of it. The idea is you're also a good thing to look at for reference if you're ever making like an undead character, is to just straight up look at the human skull, because it's kind of like the idea is like sagging off the skin. Like he looks way too plump here. I'm gonna do Frankenstein opening up his third eye. We probably should have some color in this. This is a really stupid idea, but I love it. Okay, so he's not using the fucking gazer beam or whatever from Avatar. I'm sorry, this looks so incredibly dumb, but I love it. He's not using the beam. He's gonna be Crystal Mommy. I think... Should I have him doing kind of like an ooh, like he's looking at it and he's really amazed? Like he's holding it out on his hand, and it's a crystal, but it's like the Sims crystal. I can't fucking draw because I'm laughing so much at how stupid this is. Wait, what side? Your thumbs are on, they'd be the outside right here. I always fuck that shit up. I just look at my own hands, obviously, so I don't like fuck it up in like a full proper drawing, but... No. It's much more fun with these kinds of, like, a silly drawing to do, like, one of these. Make him emaciated everywhere but his fat head. Hold on. This is so dumb. His eyes will need to be readjusted. Hold on. Okay. His mouth, obviously. Ooh. Yeah, that's the vibe that mouth is giving. Oh, he's looking so monkey-ish. It's so bad. Okay, hold on. This is just the sketch. I am gonna like redraw this obviously a bit. It looks so horrible. Yeah, he needs to be more skull-like. That's it. And then the bolts are in his neck. He's just got, like, his neck is so thick, it reminds me of my dad. I don't think I've ever hardly talked about my dad on stream. I definitely shouldn't, though. Anyway, neck bolts. Going in. Nastily. And he's got some shit going on his head, like, it's like staples or something. Even though 1800s, they probably had, like, medical staples of some kind. Oh, right, his head is split. I'm an idiot. Okay. So I can have it where... Jesus, hell. Clearly I haven't drank enough water. This is what happens. I wake up for stream, and then, like, from a 5-hour nap, so I can have energy to do anything, and then I don't drink any fucking water. Shit. Okay, but we get Frankenstein too long. Okay. Maybe I should just use my fucking phone. Oh god. I need to utilize my phone more to manage chat. There's just like a million... I get too many people hitting me up about stuff. Oh no. I am live. I'm trying to manage my channel. Could I just do that from here? Not really. Cool. I love it. Okay. Anyway. I'll just kind of have that off to help me. Alright. What is this, like, eye worm that started happening here? Ugh. I don't know. I don't even know what I did. Okay, the Akira, like, eyes are not quite working. Frankenstein, they're funny. But I don't know if they're right for this. What we're going for here. Sorry. I looked at his arms again. Go back to my images of Frankenstein that I'm looking at. Shit. Oh, he's got hair. That's right. He does have a little bit of, like, hair on his scalp somehow. I don't know what Dr. Frankenstein. Oh my god, this whole time I'm normally somebody who's like such a stickler about like it's his name isn't Frankenstein, that's the doctor's name. And like I'm gonna do a little toupee action or something. He's like not fully haired. No, that's perfect. Have that like flapping in the wind. Like I know that it's the doctor's name that's Frankenstein, not his. God damn, it's embarrassing. Okay. Here's the OG actor for it. Oh, maybe that's why, because that looked like my dad. Anyway. Oh, I see. The actor in the old movies had two staples that I was drawing before, because that's what I was remembering, but the cartoon versions tend to do those staples, but I'm gonna have it that the eye is stapled into his head. As dumb as that is, we're gonna have it. He inserted a Frankenstein, he came back to him, which I think his name, it wasn't Caliban, was it? What was his name? He gave him a name after, someone from Shakespeare's, The Tempest. Oh, shit. What? Mostly he's referring to Frankenstein's monster. What was his name? That looks really good. Blah, blah. No, he gave it a fucking name. Yet he refers to it as different things, but he gave to it... He gave him a name at first, I swear to God. Never ascribed an actual name? That is not true. I read this in high school, and I don't think I was reading any kind of, like, fucking abridged ass shit. Jesus Christ, it looks insane. I mean, if you think of the story, that shit's fucking insane. Digging up people's parts and shit, that's disgusting. You know what this is reminding me of? This is like, I want to feed this to like an AI. I've seen people use those like AI, like image generators where they take your drawing and they try to like make something out of it. Just for fun. I'm very against AI, of course, as an artist, but I do think you can absolutely do stupid shit with it that's fun. I'm trying to think. This is like not even at all. This looks so wrong. Jesus Christ. Well, the main thing we also need to keep in mind is, oh my god. But there's gonna be a lot of shading here. Not this dark, but we could make it that dark. But that will actually help us get more of the vibe of the monster by having some fucking thicker line work in here. Whenever I'm actually doing it, I mean. Not this sketch. Not that I have to do it a ton more, obviously. This is basically done. I don't have a lot of time today to work on this, but we will make it look much better. This is just a really rough sketch. Okay. I'll go for my real G pen. We'll get to see me do like a vector layer. Okay. Frankenstein, Crystal Mommy opening up his third eye. Why is it like hard for me to draw a face that's... I think I've been drawing fucking like anime girl kind of faces for too long. And because normally this is like the style that I would draw in, is a lot of realism and like surrealism, so this wouldn't be hard at all. Well, okay. I'll make a secondary sketch layer, hold on. And I'll just kind of go for... Oh, this has got way too much of that shit turned up. Oh, fuck. Sorry? I will, portion this out like a normal human being. A little bit more. Even though he does have this, like, very strong chin. I'll try to give myself some proportions to work with. Sorry. I'm just like making myself laugh. I'm very dumb. Little less anime proportions. I do want him to have big eyes, but not like quite that big, especially since this one I want to look like a more realistic eye. The center of his... Oh, that just didn't even show up. It's gonna be turned slightly this way to look at it, even though Frankenstein in the images I'm looking at, his nose is pretty high, but I guess that's fine. And then the third eye would be in between those two. Yeah! Why can't I draw an ellipses? Oh my god. I have no stabilization turned on, but still, that's ridiculous. Okay. This is our secondary sketch that's gonna be slightly more realistic, okay? This is gonna be... same thing where it's just his cranium, where that line is gonna be for his, fucking sewing line along his head. Jesus, hell, help me. Okay. And then I'll give him some body yaddy yaddy. No worries. I'm gonna have a square-ish at first. We're gonna move into the shoulder blades. Now, these are gonna be raised up. I do always love drawing. I don't know why, the shoulders and the collarbone whenever I'm doing like realism. I don't know why I always enjoy that so much. Anyway, something that's also important to note here, I usually actually do a bit on the structure of the spinal column. Not that you have to, you can just draw like a straight line or so down and like get the gist of where the pectorals are, but sometimes if you're drawing like a full body thing, you just draw like a line like this through them, like this is the S-curve of how they're gonna look. So the chest is gonna be here, and this is just giving you like, maybe because they're sitting down, they have this kind of slouch happening, you know? But it gives you a line of movement to work off for making them more more like bringing more character and movement into the body pose for like a cartoon. That's basically it. And his pecs are, because his collarbone is gonna start around here, move into this. We want to think about the skeletal structure a lot more than just muscular for him, because even though both of them are gonna be more visible, obviously, with him looking dead, we want to show the skeletal structure more, because that will really show his skin sagging. And because he's turned slightly this way, you're going to be seeing just a little bit more of this side of his body. So that means you'll just see like a little bit more of his rib cage. I don't know, I guess I should probably put clothes on him like classic Frankenstein, but if he had no clothes on, I would be showing his rib cage, and especially anime style, you would probably see somebody doing something like this kind of drawing to show that he's just like to help show that he's turned. I'm probably going to throw clothes over all this, so this doesn't really matter. But then the other thing that you typically draw is their core, which actually is a little low in here. I think this is good, like a midsection. I don't think we really need to draw much more than this part of him. Like this face right here is fine. We need his forehead to be pretty big to give that Frankenstein look, so I'm actually going to start working on bringing the forehead. God damn it, Frankenstein's monster look. I'm gonna bring the forehead up, and with it, this will be our new hairline. That means he's got plenty of space for his third eye as well. And then since we have our shoulder blades, we can start showing where bones connect, which if you really want to do skeleton, you literally would draw the real bones, how they start to, well, what's the word? Like, femur and everything, your forearm, all of it, there's gonna actually be 2 bones in each of them. And that's how we have so much more, like, flexibility in that area than if it was really just, like, one bone. One bone is significantly, well, it's quite a bit bigger than the other. Not maybe super significantly, but it's bigger. This one is like this more so, and this one is quite a bit bigger. I can't remember if that's why this one's more often broken than that one, because this one kind of has a little bit more muscle and fat around it to like move out the way when like you fall on it. But very commonly, the things that you'll see broken when it comes to arms is people's wrist area in the forearm, because they are falling and they're not falling safely or correctly, however you want to put that. So what ends up happening is they fall onto very weak bones in this area, and they put all of their body weight on it. And there's not a lot of muscle around there typically for people either to take the impact of that. Even if there is a lot of muscle, that means usually that the rest of the body has a lot more weight to it as well. So you're just still like, it's a huge amount of impact. But the shoulder blade, we're cartoonizing this, so the shoulder blade still needs to come up quite a bit. And his arm is going to cross over his body. This is the problem whenever you're drawing real life, but is often solved by drawing anime or any kind of cartooning, is that maybe you're trying to show certain parts of their body, or you just don't want to hide certain parts. Like maybe you're drawing a girl and you're like, I want to show the tibbies. You don't want the arm crossing over to cover those up. So instead of starting it where it would naturally start, you might actually bring this down here and have her arm extend this way, and it look maybe like, why isn't she bringing this closer to her face instead, you know, etc. But we can, there's all these different reasons you could show that you would need to show that typically. But this is going to be our kind of like realism sketch underneath to help us maybe understand where things are going. I don't know how I want his hands. Like, do I want them to be kind of curled up around it? Because this thing is just floating. But anyway, this is also why it's good to draw in multiple colors sometimes for these layers, or using multiple pieces of paper if it's IRL, because if you don't know what you're looking at here, you're like, what the fuck is going on? But if I know that this is how how the shoulder's gonna turn out, then I can just erase all of this and like, yeah, this is fine. I'm not gonna change much about this. Like, this doesn't, I can tell that this is anatomically accurate in the way I want it to be, and I don't need to change it, whatever. Anyway, I don't know if I actually want to do that. I guess I will. Not a big deal. This is just cartoony. This isn't meant to look amazing. So I'm just gonna kind of do basic hands and not waste time on them. Hands are already hard enough for most people. I do actually personally enjoy drawing the hands and the feet, just because they're a challenge, but there is a kind of logic and rhythm to them that can be fun to get into. But the problem, it's the same reasons I think I enjoy drawing the shoulders and the butt a lot. There's just so much muscle that connects both of those areas that's important and really makes something come to life whenever it comes to drawing like a live model. I mean, when you're just drawing like cartooning, the hands are not fun to draw at all. Also, the width of his neck, his body needs to be bigger, and his head. All of this needs to be sized out by the size of his head. So I probably should just take this entire bit here and stretch it out a little bit. Now imagine if you were drawing this IRL, or not IRL. You were drawing this on fucking paper, and you had to completely redo that area. Like, you just, that's what you have to do. There's no stretching that shit out. And yet, it's so much harder to get traditional mediums of art recognized and appreciated for what they are. It's a shame, as they are much harder. Not that this is a big deal, because this will be made out of like actual like fucking these lines where it'll be super easy to make it look proper, but I'm just trying to give myself a good idea of what I'm going for. And then I'll have non-copyright, slightly off-color Sims green. Okay, I said Crystal Mommy, but Frankenstein is actually getting into The Sims. I'm sorry. He's opened up his third eye to The Sims gym. G-Pen. Here's a realistic one. We kind of... Jesus, hell. That is terrifying. Forgot how scary that was. Okay. I'm just gonna work off of this real quick to try to cartoonize it a little bit, maybe. I'm trying to think, because I do want him to still have big expressions, but I need him to look just a little bit more real than he did. Yeah. Big open mouth. I could have him smiling. He loves The Sims. A lot of different ways to go with the mouth, so I'm gonna actually leave it as is for now. What I'm really gonna focus on is giving him that shrunken in look. But just in a simple cartoonish way, because I don't have a ton of time to work on this today. I can already feel my meds are wearing off. Sadly. Mouth will be important when it comes to making him look aged, though. I was just kind of gonna mark these in here. Make sure that they are apparent. Give him... Oh my god, he looks terrifying. This is what I'm gonna look like if I'm lucky enough to live that long. Just wanna keep in mind all of that kind of living organic. That's the way that I see so much of like texture and everything, is it's like super organic, like a connection to everything and each other. That's why I love drawing humans and animals the most when I do traditional, because one, texture is really fun. So like I love drawing the hair on people and on animals, like different, like I guess like repetitive textures I like doing. A lot of people hate that shit, but I love it. Say the majority of people hate drawing hair, but it's like my favorite thing to draw, and has never... I've always been very good at drawing it well, realistically. Anime style has been such a whole new eye-opener to ways to break down what hair looks like and can look like, obviously, with like different styles. But I mean, the way that you're taught most of the time, or just from what I learned looking at stuff, is that hair has about... They think of it in 3 layers. So you have the bayang layer, typically, where you're going to have these kinds of very forefront pieces, and they're going to say a lot about the character. You might have a side section or a mid section that's also going to kind of incorporate and usually be attached to a mid section around here that's just behind the bayangs. And then you're going to have the furthest back section, which, depending on what years, like decade of anime or cartooning, whatever your kind of like more simplified style that you're focusing on, it may be, because I like the 80s the most for anime, it may be fucking massive. And it's gonna go from like here and arch out really fucking hugely in front of their face and really match what direction they're facing, and then do something like this, you know? But it's gonna be one of the largest ones in terms of sections, and have, along with the mid sections, the most movement. Typically that front part has like little to no movement, except for obviously if they're like turning their head, and then you get to see our little like baby hairs section kind of shit, all that, the under boob of the hair. Frankenstein will have none of these fun things. He is just gonna be having that fucking that 1, 2, 3 That's what it's called. He's gonna be lucky that he's got fucking hair. I want to do kind of like a... I know it's like Frankenstein, so I want to give him like the hair that he has typically, but I'm kind of thinking it is funny to have like a Trump style, like floppy in the wind, barely hanging on. Yeah, that's way better. Like almost like a toupee. Also, wait, did he have ears in any of the pictures that I saw? Well, the traditional one, yeah, he's got ears. Okay. And close out of the rest of the shit. Alright, and then something else I forgot is his like iconic this shit where it really gets in there. And then this third eye actually might need to be moved up just a bit. So it's so close to the other one. I don't know where a third eye typically actually goes. But I want to also give it the feel of that. The rest of his, whatchamacallit, skin. Yeah, that first one's wrong. Don't know why I'm even focusing that hard on this. This is the sketch. This is good enough for now. Oh, I forgot ears. And he can have some big ol' floppy Buddha ears. Again, barely hanging on. Yeah. There, basically. We'll just be seeing... We should be seeing a lot less of it on that side. I don't quite sure how much less I want to show. But enough that I don't have to deal with it. Okay, his mouth is up for debate on what the style is gonna be. And honestly, kind of the same with his eyebrows. Maybe they should be really crazy looking. This is not my typical art style that I do at all. This is just meant to be pretty cartoonish and silly. Typically my art style, I'm gonna have this kind of shit happening. It's how I draw my eyes. You know? A little bit of that happening in there. And this is all, of course, built in. But I'm not trying to make him look like a cute anime girl with a cat's eye. I am thinking, should these be just a hair more? I could add some color that way. I think I want only thing to have color on this though to be his, like, to be that crystal. So these don't need to be, maybe I'll make those red. And he can have a little thingy in there. Perfect. And it could reflect green, maybe. If I was doing like a full color, I'd definitely be working on like a reflection on him, and I probably will put some amount of that on him. This line needs to hold in here somehow. Anything. That's where these are actually coming from, not just on his cheekage. This all connects. Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever... Maybe I'll show some of my old traditional artwork at some point on stream, but it's very texture heavy. It's not at all like this, let alone like the rest of what I draw for anime. I think this elbow needs to be brought down. Again, it does not matter one bit, but you know. I just like to be a little particular. So you see, this is typically what I do, honestly, when I am drawing my own stuff. Not this art style, but it is, what's the word? I'll do like one layer of like this concept kind of thing, and then I'll do a layer that's a lot more out and much closer to what the end result will be. But of course, there's changes that are gonna happen. I'm gonna use our real G pen, and we're just gonna start off at the head. We're gonna go straight into it. And you want to try to honestly do with vector lines. It does, like, this is a vector layer, I mean, but it's it does help to try to do full complete lines for a lot of these areas. Because if you want to adjust them, that helps. Instead of having to do something like that, it'll see those as two different things usually, and make it really annoying if I'm trying to adjust that slightly later. Not horribly slow, but enough that I'd probably just like erase it instead. But if it was all one line drawn in there, then I could just really easily adjust that and like play with it a lot more. Typically I don't start doing the shading until much after I finish all of it, but I'm not going to be reworking this whole thing and like looking at it heavily or anything like that. I'm not overly concerned with the space. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it as I go. Now I just still am not in love with these eyes, you know? I'm gonna go after it and just get her done, and we will see how she turns out. Again, I'm just making this one slightly bigger. Anything to show the slight angle difference here. You shouldn't have like a huge angle, but there should be just little things here and there to try to show that there's more of this side visible. And the other side just will help when you're doing anything that's slightly less than realism. It'll help the viewer like, what's the word, like figure out the space and the layout of things. Make sense of the piece. There we go. You can just see automatically with the vector layer how much nicer everything looks, and also doing two different sketches just helps so immensely, you know? To rethink things in some ways, for one thing. I think the mouth is probably what I will be drawing in last, but or even putting on a different layer, and like putting on multiple different layers. I often have trouble deciding on how exactly I want my mouths to look, because they are so integral to the expression that you're trying to show on someone's face and the emotion and everything when it comes to like this, maybe the scene or that particular moment, if something's maybe even gonna change expression wise in a second. It can just be really helpful to not have to keep erasing it and instead give yourself different options and just turn the layers on and off. Since the rest of him is pretty detailed in certain areas, we're gonna draw in the ear quite a bit. Did I fuck up the way ears look? I think I did. Like I've drawn ears so many times, but because I'm not used to drawing them in any amount of detail, so yeah, even the hard eraser on a vector layer, this is how the vector eraser works. If it's been drawn as one line together, or they're fully like connected and ingratiated like that, it'll start seeing it as one line. Yeah, and the only other problem with the vector layers is that if you're trying to color it in or ink it in, you usually are just going to end up doing it on another layer beneath it or something. I'm not giving a shit right now. But that part I'm not ecstatic about, because it's a little bit harder to do than if you're just using a regular layer. I'm not gonna allow any space for detail there, because I don't like how that ear looks really, but it's not important. I want to make these eyes look realistic, but also cartoony and also gross. I do want to get across the idea that he is very shocked by what he is seeing. Very into it to some degree. Now, his pupils don't have to be perfectly circular. It will help if they are, but I think what I'm gonna do, just to help make this look better in general, if they are. But I think I'm just going to copy this eye and flip it and make my life easier. If they are slightly different, that will definitely make him look more like Frankenstein, though, which is tempting. Like I said, I don't have a lot of time right now, and I also... just wondering what would be better in the case of what we're doing today. I love drawing those on eyes, just like making someone look so fucking incredibly stressed. Okay, so the problem with this kind of thing is that it might look good like this, but whenever you hit, oops. See, I can't use the fucking fill tool on here. So I either have to do it on a different layer, which means I have to go in and select exactly what I want filled. You're kind of doing half the job of the fill tool. Or I can just colorate it on this layer and be like, fuck it. But yeah, so those little, this style of like sparkle in the eye doesn't show up as well. So I need to go in with my little eraser and see if I can't. Yeah, because that doesn't work either. I can go in with the soft one, make it softer, and then stylize it again with the pen. It's just, it's not like horrible, but there's just some downsides to vector layers that I'm immensely happy with. This is something I would rather do before copying it over to the other side. I think that's pretty much everything I want to do with that. I'll just grab all of this right in here, make my life slightly easier. I can erase it if it doesn't look right. Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah, the problem is that he's not looking at something here. He's looking at it over here. Okay, okay. Well, that will look a bit odd. I think that is even, at least. Eye placement is all correct, except for the pupil, which is gonna have to be swapped around on its own, essentially. Which is fine. I don't need to take a ton of time to focus on that. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I wanted. Okay, perfect. And I just need to make sure that this area looks like it's really scrunched up. What will help is having some little bit of extra shading, thickening those lines, giving some weight to the lines. It's called line weight typically. That's like the technical term. I'm trying to think of other places that I might want to do that right now. Line weight is very important for stylization and for giving depth to a drawing and character to different areas, but also showing parts of, again, perspective and the layering of objects like on a face or whatever you're drawing. Line depth is super useful for that. For the eyebrows, I think I'm gonna use my curve tool first, just to get a really even brow. Either I'm gonna just straight up do this to add that cartoonishness in, or I'm gonna make them look crazy. I just can't quite decide. Let me make them like, well, I could do one like that and then one crazy one and see what I'm thinking. And look at it. Make it really thick at the bottom and then have some long ones coming out here. Maybe making it sparser. We go along. I mean, that is just... The face is pretty realistic, so I think that might match the art style better. This does add a an element of like silliness to it for sure. Not that this is hard to do or takes a lot of time, so I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that or just straight up copying it over to the other one. Again, adding just a little bit of line weight in places to more like a realistic brow. Depends on who you are. Maybe you get your eyebrows threaded and that is not your brows, but that is just about where mine want to be. I think my eyebrows would wrap around my head like an Amish chin strap if they could. Literally shave those bitches off all the time and they come back the next day. No joke. Don't have to worry about doing drag and having like a job where I see people in person because my eyebrows grow back that quickly. Okay. Let me just erase this one. And what's on here? Okay. So I was gonna say I did not merge these. Whoops. That's okay. I didn't need to do that either. Okay, just those two. Not visible layers. Thank you. Okay, so not only are we gonna hold shift as we move it over to get this even. He looks surprised, but not quite enough, in my opinion. I'm gonna tilt that just a little bit over. I'm gonna merge these layers and tilt this one just a little bit as well. Move it back. Maybe move it up a little bit. I don't want them to look too uneven. Not that he's like supposed to be beautiful and even. That's kind of the idea as part of his grotesqueness to people that see him, is that he's so like unevenly like mismatched like looking, because he's all these different parts and just like shocking. And you know, it's that feeling of uncanny valley is kind of like what people get in the book. I mean, when they first see him, there's people that do like actually come to accept him, but by that like that are like just scared of him at first, but it's just like by that point it's too late, because he has grown so incredibly self-conscious and like hateful of the way he's like been treated. At least if I'm misremembering that, I apologize, but I'm fairly certain that's what the book says. There are certain people who kind of like get over that feeling at first. They're just like so scared seeing him that and like how he's treated by like the first humans that he meets and his creator and everything. He like no longer can trust them and just hates them and his creator. He goes, I really recommend reading the book. It's so good. Really, it's like the Count of Monte Cristo actually in a way, and that's probably why I like it so much. Because he really goes out of his way to like fuck up his creator's life. It's great. Any revenge story is gonna be pretty good. I need to reread the Count of Monte Cristo. It's just quite long. It's hard to have time, but a revenge story is fantastic, in my opinion. Always a good fun. Okay. We're not gonna copy the eye again, because this is the third eye. This eye, I could have drawn with a totally different tool, but for some reason did this. Anyway, what is nice about the vector layer though is that if you intersect any layers, you can just erase the part that went over it. So if I do like this and I don't want these parts showing, I just do that. It's great. Now I am gonna try to make this look pretty perfect. So I think what I need to do is, even though maybe having it look more like a cat's eye would be kind of cool. I'm like, should I have the third eye also looking at it, or just have his third eye being opened? Like the idea that his third eye is being opened by the Sims, I like. Okay, hold on. I've drawn some crazy eyes before. Obviously, I drew two of them just a moment ago. I want this one to look pretty, like, Majora's Mask adjacent. Nutso. Also, that part that's really uneven. Not that you'll probably be able to see it from far away, and not that the rest of this isn't honestly a little uneven and probably should be redrawn. Okay, erase. Whoop. This selection. Thank you, thank you. And with that, thank you. Do oh, I was like, what was I doing? Slightly move this. Now, the other reason for vector layers, besides a lot of the, I'm not even showing you like actual vector. You could turn anything into an object and move like very small portions or the whole thing. Like, that's fantastic, right? The other thing is that you can resize stuff, and resizing also for putting it onto other media, and it won't, like, it will not fuck shit up immensely. It won't make it look super, like, crushed and crusty. It won't look like dank meme style. Now, if you want it to, just put it on a regular layer, but this is always, in my opinion, the way to go. Am I getting, like, hungry again? I think it's just my med, like, wearing down and I'm tired. And I'm having a bit of trouble seeing, and not in the fun way. I apologize. I don't want to have to cut this short by any means. I may have to, not draw so much of his body. I may have to just have this floating and him, like, kind of in a shirt staring at it. It will be, I promise, it'll be good either way. We will make it funny. It's a little too close. Yeah, see how lines getting close like that can just put you off or like look shit. And the other thing with parallel lines is also keeping these parallel. Looks organic, looks like actual skin folds that are merging with their. Now, I mean, is there a nervous system to this guy? That's the other thing I think. Do we need to draw like veins of some sort or anything? Like that might be too many. Well, that's giving the right impression though. Not fantastically happy with how that one looks, but anyway. Trying to just get some areas with a little more depth, but there's not as nearly many areas intersecting with one another as I thought there'd be, so I'm gonna quickly see if I can't do that around his nose. Give this area some depth and darkness. Do a little some for the fucking line work. See how like close that is? It's not quite. But again, I need to stop. I need to focus on what's important here. Third eye. I'm just gonna draw a full, like, several layers of headlines. Like when I'm doing my makeup and I start drying up. Alright. Now, this is an eyeball. Balls look like this. How did I do that? What the fuck? Normally I just take the circle and I just copy it and shrink it. I don't know what I... Okay, that's fine though. On a separate layer, what I like to do is just do a selection like this, and then, okay, bitch, I'm trying to move the damn, thank you. Do something like this, hide it, take a tool with, you know, what you call it, fucking a pattern. Try to make it look a little magical. A little bit more on the bottom than the top, so we give ourselves like an automatic fucking light zone over here. Trying to make it look like a third eye from afar. I don't know, that just is looking like a cute flower. That is not the intention. What about, holy fucking Christ, that's huge. No. It looks, they keep looking, I think that one looks better in terms of looking magical, but it just looks like a flower again. God damn it. Frankenstein, stop being so cute. Here we go. That's better. Okay. Coming out of here. Oh shit. Trying to go. I forgot this is on a different layer. I don't really need to. Trying to give him like a little Sharingan moment. It's just hard to tell what the actual like middle of this selection tool is. It looks, I mean, that's god awful. Okay. Hold on. Let me find one that maybe, yeah, like that. That, good. These are kind of like, hold on. Thickness, angle. Shouldn't be as much of a gap, I think, and these need to be smaller. Oh my god. Okay, that could be a big gap. That's fine. That's okay. Oh, it's doing the same shit. Damn. Okay. I might have to just leave it, or I'm gonna do a totally different texture, I think. Could do hearts. Maybe those will look god awful. Oh, it takes from this color. That's interesting. If I do these right, maybe the hearts will look horrible and terrifying. They aren't. I have lots of little stamps that I never use, but I just was hoping that today... Here we go. That looks disturbing, right? Right, everybody? I just wanted it to look like a magical third eye. Come on. Work with me, Frankenstein. Oh, God only knows why Mary Shelley gave you that name. Or fucking... I mean, Frankenstein's monster? I swear he was named something from The Tempest. Fucking... Oh, fuck. I didn't mean to put somebody down, but maybe that is the way to go. Make him look like he's got a Dragon Ball for his third eye. Oh, you know what? I'll just have the fucking... I'll have the Sims thing, or something, like, right? Should I just do that? Should I have, like, the Sims thingy reflected in his eye? I think I'll do that for now, unless I forget, and in which case, who gives a fuck, because I am so tired of trying to draw this fucking third eye. Why is this not drawing it? Sorry? Oh. I need to unselect that. There's nothing on this layer, so let's just delete that. God, what a waste of time. See, this is the other problem. I end up wasting so much time when I'm drawing on doing shit like this. Okay. What was I? Yeah, this is this. Okay. Again, if I want, I can just do it on this layer. Probably not. Yeah, see, I can tell that it's not quite. So I would have to do this to actually make the line even. That does not quite look like it wraps around his head properly. Hold on. We paint the rest of its skull on to a degree. We'll need to do the hair first. I want it to look like it's kind of... I need to have like sharp, because that's like a Pokemon hair edge. Hold on. Shit. It's like, where did I start this? I need the edges of his hair to look kind of nasty, you know? Here we go. Well, that's starting to look more like fire. I guess that works. That is... God, a sad part of his life. Let's have some in the back. Should keep going. But it needs to come back and, like, end at some point. Okay. And this is gonna be stapled on. Get a sad life, this one. Get a staple on his toupee. Every morning, new staples. Jesus, get rid of it. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Getting to like look like a weird Hitler comb over or something. I don't know. Is it just like the does it just look like 1940s or 30s like hair or something? What's going on with my brain right now? Which doesn't look not supposed to look natural, but it looks wrong or in another way, like it's not the style of the time. I guess it wouldn't have been for him back then either. Has to really fucking him up. What's the problem with anime here? You have to still have a good concept of like detail, like anatomy, just like anime bodies. You have to have a good concept of anatomy in order to make, like, again, simplify things and make them look more natural. None of this looks natural. I hate this. Yeah. And it's supposed to be like a toupee, which I've never drawn like a fake hair like that, so it's like, I know it's not supposed to look natural, but like, how do I make unnatural thing look like it is naturally unnatural? It matches up, it's flowing together the way that it should weirdly flow. Yeah, I think that's good enough, but this is wrong as fuck. When it's kind of greasy and, you know, like he's got a big part of his head that's not covered. Punk rocker Frankenstein. Okay. And then he should have some more fucking nasty ass grooves in his head. Oh hell yeah, baby. Again, vector eraser coming to my aid. That vein is gonna go. It's going places. It's got good grades, that vein. Shit. I wanna have liver spots. Hell yeah. Fucking what's his name in that Luigi's Mansion? Dr. Egad. He's got liver spots. Like, dude has got a drinking problem. And they just put that shit in there. Like, damn. Like, I know some old people get it for other reasons, but it just gave me the vibe he was an alcoholic, and I was like, well, yeah, he is doing what he's doing for a living, so, like, I get it. But damn, that's just kind of fucked up. For Dr. Egad. He's got a problem. No wonder none of his, like, family's living out there with him. Well, maybe that's why he's doing it. They've all passed before him. Oh, that's fucking sad. Why would I say this? Why am I still trying to draw like good circles here when I have a circle tool? Okay, the staples do need to be like pulling up on his skin. It needs to look fucking grotesque. If you couldn't tell, I love drawing like grotesque, like realism. That was the other thing that I always did. In school, I was always drawing like grotesque realism. It's just like my favorite thing. I don't know why. Okay, so the center of his head needs to be more here. And this is just not quite aligned with that. So I'm going to once again ask you for a donation. Just gonna pull. Hopefully I don't need to do anything with the rest of it. Not gonna change any of this because it should look exactly the same. But I'm gonna align this with that line as much as I possibly can. Here we go. So it just looks a little bit more natural. And yeah, I shouldn't have to change the rest of that too much. This just needs to be, I got rid of, it doesn't look great. Okay. ellipses I put on there? Oh, I see, I see. That can go... And normally I would soften these up a little bit more, but I don't think they really need to be. If anything, I'm gonna have something showing a little bit of connection between these, because what I'm gonna do... Oh, I should have... should have kept that ellipses. Hold on. It won't take much to keep that. Yeah, okay. Vector. Yeah, this wasn't drawn on a vector layer. Okay, so I'm gonna have to just go at this the old-fashioned way. That's okay. And erase this from here. Shit, this is still not quite lined up to it. And I don't actually... Okay, this part looks a little bit more natural, but this other part it doesn't. Okay, wait a minute, wait. Oh. No. Okay, for one thing, that. And for two, get rid of this, actually. And give me the soft eraser. Both of these. Just soften that up a little bit. And then I'm gonna take my curve tool and give him this little hippie headband. Make it look like trying to make it look like his skull has been cut completely and perfectly. And imagine if they didn't. Do they, like, I don't know how perfectly they cut, whenever they cut into people's heads, like, how perfectly do they cut their skulls open? Because imagine if it was, like, really uneven and it looked like shit, and you just had to, like, go about your life, and you just, like, this lopsided-ass cut, like, scar in your head, and it was like, well, damn. The only thing is it does mess up some of my favorite details that I put in here, but that's okay. We can fix that a little bit. Let's do some curved lines, and we will just cover those areas up so that there's still something there, so that it's not like too empty of an area. Still have our thick ass fucking staples. Make them smaller. This is separate, yes. And we can still have this be kind of, what's the word? Pulling on the skin. Some ways. And our little liver spot bud here, I'm just gonna straight up erase him. He's not been right from the get-go, neither of these have. Is that ellipses? I wish... Would that be a little bit softer? I feel like I like the effect of my pen better. Put them further down. And look a little bit more round on there. There we go. And you can be erased because I've got plans for this area where we're actually going to have another staple right here. We're just using the curve tool because all of that should be just a little bit curved. Ooh, well. This is the only problem I have with the vector tool. Sometimes it'll change like the other lines that are like near it when you erase like part of it. I'm like, all right, chill. Like it's just the one part. It's not a huge deal. Okay. Oops. Just realized I never did that. Okay, we're just gonna do the same thing over here, and we should be pretty much golden. This one, these were pretty close, but I don't want it to be too close to this. I'm gonna have to put them here. Just it's okay. We're seeing a different perspective of this area. It will look a little awkward, but it's also fucking Frankenstein's monster. It's not meant to look perfect in any capacity, and I know I've been using that excuse this entire time, but like, I'm gonna keep using it. Ooh, okay. Try not to make those look too the same. I wanted to play, honestly, a little more of Cats Crossing, but just the way my brain was feeling, I was like, and the fact that I was like, oh, I've played this much longer than an hour. Realized I just needed to go ahead and start the Inktober bit of my stream, which is fine. That was another big reason why I decided that I was going to stream today, even though it's technically one of my kind of like off days for doing it. Wondering, do I want to do something, or I think I will. This, yeah. Okay, anyway. He didn't have to be this detailed. I love drawing like this. This is actually, in a sense, not the cartooniness so much of it, but the realism is a lot closer to what I like to do. Certainly I've drawn like cartoons like this before. It's very fun. That's kind of just how I grew up drawing people. That was the other problem, is that I liked drawing all the flaws in people, and I just didn't think there was anything wrong with them. I don't know if it's just like a symptom of being pansexual and kind of like not... Like, I can tell when somebody is not society's version of attractive, you know? But I don't really see a lot of like what people see as flaws. I don't feel like they're as like ugly as people think they are, so I did have a lot of problems growing up where I would like say something and my mom would be like, you can't like point that out about a person. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, and they're like, saying somebody has like a big head is like a not like not saying it in the way that talking about somebody has a big ego, but they're like saying that somebody's head is like just actually like physically large is not a good thing. I was like, oh. Like, I was very young. Like, I got, you know, as I got older, it's like, I just should never talk about another person's, like, looks anyway. Because you never know. And, it's just been polite for polite's sake. And I value being polite as a southerner. It's a part of trying to be, nicer and genuinely kind to people. Not that everybody who's polite is a nice person or is being genuine, but it is a good way, I think, to live your life in a society of people where you've got so many different kinds of people, you just can't possibly know everything about them and what their life is like and what kind of things have been said to them before in terms of how they look. I've had a lot of girlfriends, especially just because women are so targeted by media for their bodies. I just had several girlfriends where things that I found attractive in them, they had always had people in their life tell them were ugly. So it's just kind of, you just don't know. You kind of have to watch boundaries with people before you say stuff, but also it can be good, obviously, to say to a partner, like, I find this absolutely beautiful about you. I cannot believe that you think this is ugly, but I don't think you're wrong for feeling that way because I know this is how people made you feel. Especially a lot of my partners that are different ethnicities than white, they're usually made to feel, in particular, like black people, but they're usually made to feel like their natural, genetics, is that it? Their natural, like, hairstyles and things like that are like, oh, it's unprofessional, or, you know, like, thinking it's ugly to look a certain way that are clearly Jewish features or clearly black features. And I was treated that way too, to a degree growing up, so that was never something that was, like, hard for me to understand, and I grew up a girl, so, like, duh, I get that, but, and as a pansexual person, there has been a lot that I've had to kind of figure out about society, because that makes no sense to me. That's just fucking weird. That's crazy to think that that is an ugly feature on a person, but okay. Like, I've never I don't see weight as like an ugly thing on a person. I think if that weight is due to somebody being extremely lazy, first thing I think typically is, oh, they probably got mental health issues. I should let them handle that, stay away for that reason maybe, because that's usually been what happens when I haven't. But that's when somebody is like becoming morbidly obese. That's usually a sign that like they need mental help and not another relationship to like, what's the word? Tell them that the way that they treat themselves is all right, because it's hard to say to another person that it isn't. Oh my god, I'm in the wrong. Am I still in just chatting? I've been in just chatting this whole time. I don't know why I just suddenly thought of that. Good god. Anyway. But yeah, it's, but anybody who's not like at that level of weight, which is the majority of women, I feel like, honestly, that's never been something that's turned me off about a woman before. Or men, for example, or men either, and other people in between. So I think a lot of people have always been very confused by that, and like people who aren't even the ones that I'm dating will tell me, they're like, you know, you're out of this guy's league, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you say that to anybody? And why are you saying that to me as your friend? Like, sometimes it's just straight up jealousy, but other times it's like when I was younger, I think it was people that just misunderstood, you know, again, those boundaries of like what to fucking say to people and how that doesn't really make any sense. Also, sorry, I'm still like, I think I want to do this mouth, like it's really oh god, my brain is really starting to tell me that it's time to throw in the towel, but I really want to continue this. His mouth is gonna be off center because his chin is like, oh my god. I wanna think about this. Okay. Because that's where his mouth should be, based on his chin. But when I drew the rest of this, I guess it's so zoomed in that didn't really. There's ways I could fix this like pretty easily, but I don't want to. So what we're gonna do today is gonna do a bit of this, and we're gonna up the cartooniness on his mouth. We're gonna ooh, but we're gonna be oohing like we're in an 80s anime, where you're painting everything, so those fucking deadlines are much harsher. Okay, and you know what? He's got to have at least one tooth. He's starting to look less like Frankenstein's monster and more like somebody I grew up with. You should have another one down here. I have a little cute jagged one. Oh, actually, I kind of like the little jagged one. That's cute. Okay, I can't fill in the back of his mouth. Oops. I need to apply to connected pixels. And to color layer. Fill in black, baby. What's that song? Make it black, or make it all black? But what is that? I can't remember. I think it's called Make It Black. Anyway, but you can see how that kind of actually did fix our job problems a little bit there. And his mouth doesn't even need to be quite that off center. The only problem is I can't remember if I can select color and... Okay, I can select them at the same time. Okay, good. And his mouth needs to have a bigger, like, lip edge right here. Which needs to connect to his jaw just a little bit more. And it is... Oh, Jesus Christ. What the fuck? I'm sorry? Oh. I'm selecting both layers, so it's like not letting me edit either layer. Oh, that's on the color layer. Just great. I love that for me. lines. Okay. These are not exact and probably as good as I'd like them to be because I'd like them to actually dip into his mouth a little bit. Typically that's what I would do, is have that be just a little bit more. Yeah, something more like, oh, Jesus. Okay, cool. I forgot. It's not gonna show that. I accidentally opened up my own like bullshit for my actual computer, like all of my info, and I was like, oh great. Oh, look at that, that's beautiful. Oh, he's gorgeous. Oh. Okay. Let's get the neck. I think the neck is important. We will get his neck, and then we will give him a really, because I don't have it, my energy is running out. We're gonna have to just give him some fucked up clothes. I'm sorry. You deserve better, Caliban, which is what I'm gonna call you, or Adam, I think was... Maybe it is some abridged versions that, like, came up with names, and that's what I heard, like, my teacher talking about. Motherfucker. This be like this? I always get this mixed up. Wait, would that be like that, or would it be the other direction? Oh, fuck me. Would this be coming in here? I cannot remember. That's good enough. Just trying to give him like a little lopsided look. You know, it's all the rage in fashion these days. I have no idea what's in fashion, actually. I will be forever stuck in the 70s, and I apologize for that. He's not going to be holding up the gym anymore. Like I said, I do not have the time, and for the way that I drew his face, it's going to look really weird if I don't give him... if I give him the little, like, Muppet hands that I was planning to do. So... we're just gonna be doing this, and maybe giving him some holes in his shirt, little rips, and a patch. How cute. Okay, I'm loving it. Oh my god. Jesus Christ, bro, get the fuck out with that. Okay, and then he needs a big rip right here. And I could show some little under cage, and inspired by the Pirates of the Caribbean, give him a little rib cage action. This needs to look a little more anime. There we go. He's gonna have package. I don't know why pecs keep coming up. That looks more like tits. I'll just show like the one peg. Never mind. Just give him a little like farmer clothes. He's got an Adam's apple probably. And this is important to show some area for shading. Whoops. Fill tool. P is for pen. What's that? I'll just do it on this layer so that if I'm erasing it, it'll be a little easier. Okay, that should be good. And he's gonna be looking at the gym, and it's not in the right place. let me take this layer, just move it around. Where should that be? He's not looking in the middle, he's looking a little off to the side. About there. I think that's pretty good. I'll make it just a little bit bigger though. Yeah, it's gonna be the Sims. Oh, I could have had him looking upwards at it this whole time and looking kind of cross-eyed and stupid. God damn it. I mean, I still could do that, but I have no time in my brain left. My brain is like, you need to lay down. I've been avoiding seizures pretty well today, so I'm just trying my best, because I'm already gonna have to do shit after this. So we're not gonna worry about making this super even. Just gonna draw a little sim gem. I forget what it's called, like a blee blee or some stupid shit. They have an actual name for it. I always forget. And then, do some white lines, contrast for the highlight area. Oh, you know what? I should just do. I could have. Anyway, realizing things I could have done to make my life slightly easier. I'm just gonna select. It's funny, it's the same green. Select any area that's basically not selected, and I'm just gonna fill this in with that green and do a little bit of highlighting, shading on it. So we have that, and then I'll add a gradient so that it's glowing in his face. Okay. We can take these kind of need it. Oh, scotch. And for this color area, we can just put that in. Let me turn this down so I can kind of get a good look at that. Yeah, that's pretty good. And take this and do this. It's supposed to be a gem, so it should have like a really high highlight at certain points. But it's like letting off its own light, so that's kind of the other problem. All of our light source is coming from the left to a degree. I just wanted to give it a little bit of a little stank on it, give it its own special lighting. It's okay, it's okay, it's whatever. Whatevs. Just make our other greens stand out even more. Should have done this, I think, first, and then did white over it. Well, I don't know, actually. Yeah, that's okay. Just looking like deviant art in a way, like not in a good way, I mean. Okay. This is okay for now. That's I can live with that. Oh wait. I need to unselect. And ooh, forgot those are on the same layer. Don't know why. Just get rid of any lines that are kind of out of place. It'll let me. And give a nice soft erase to these guys. And I can. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Okay, good. And then we can do... Not that he has any color on him really, but I'll do a gradient. I guess I should put it below the color actually. So I don't fuck it up too much. Wait, a background. Background should be nothing. Why is it got... Oh, no. That's it. Foreground transparent. Jesus Christ. I was like, that's not right. No, that's not. Circular, please. Yay! There we go. Okay, I'm gonna make it just a little bit bigger though. Here, there we go. Nice. And there you have it, Frankenstein's monster. I'm gonna give him a little bit of gradient, which, because I did not spell that right, what the hell? Gonna give a little bit of it reflected extra in the eyes. I feel like maybe... Or should it just be the third? No. I like having it a little bit in his eyeball like that. But I was thinking the third eye should get a lot of it. Okay. Alright. My brain is shutting down for the night. I need to... I'll probably be waiting to upload this till tomorrow because I literally can't function. Okay, well. Good God. Oh, it's because I spent 3 hours, that's why. Jesus Christ. See, there's a reason I tell myself not to do more than 2 hours, and that I should normally be taking a Friday off. But there we have it, your crystal mommy Frankenstein, but it's really become I keep just merging monsters with video games. It's become Frankenstein in The Sims. I kind of love him. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. You know, he is who he is. And we made him. Some could call me Frankenstein. And he is my little monster. Alright, y'all, feed your little monsters. As in yourself, in your stomach. And go have a good night. I'm gonna go right to bed. Bye-bye.